Tom Sawyer, Chapter 2, The New Girl. Monday was another school day. Tom hated school more than he hated work. There was only one good reason to go to school: the new girl in town. Tom had seen her and instantly fallen in love. He had tried all his tricks to get her to look at him. He even performed handstands. She acted as if she didn't see him. But even the new girl wasn't enough to make Tom want to go to school. He pretended to be sick. Tom moaned and groaned until Aunt Polly came into his room. "Tom, what's the matter with you?" she asked. "Oh, Auntie," moaned Tom, "my sore toe is killing me." "Your sore toe?" cried Aunt Polly. "That's what you've been complaining about? Stop this nonsense and get out of bed. I don't want you to be late for school." "Oh, my tooth," whined Tom. He covered his right cheek with both hands. "Now your tooth hurts?" asked Aunt Polly. She peered into Tom's mouth and wiggled a tooth. "That one is loose. I'll have to pull it out." Tom jumped out of bed. "Please don't pull it, Aunt. It doesn't hurt any more. I don't want to stay at home from school." In the end, Aunt Polly pulled out Tom's loose tooth and sent Tom to school. On the way, Tom met Huckleberry Finn. Huck's father drank too much and didn't care what Huck did. Huck was the only boy in town who didn't have to go to school or church. He never had to wash or put on clean clothes. He could fish or swim whenever he wanted. All the boys in town wanted to be like Huck. Their mothers told them not to play with him, but Tom played with Huck every chance he got. "Hello, Huckleberry. What's that you got?" Tom greeted him. "A dead cat." "What's a dead cat good for, Huck?" "Good to cure warts." "I play with frogs so much I've got lots of warts," said Tom. "Say, how do you cure warts with a dead cat?" "Well," replied Huck, "you take a dead cat to a graveyard at midnight. You chant some words at a freshly dug grave, and the warts fall off." Huck was going to the graveyard that night. Tom thought that was a fine idea and asked to tag along. Huck agreed to call for Tom just before midnight, and Tom continued on his way. By the time Tom entered the school classroom, he was late. Mr. Dobbins, the teacher, asked Tom where he had been. Tom usually made up a story when he was late, but not today. Tom saw an empty seat beside the new girl on the girl's side of the room. He knew he would be punished if he said he had been with Huck Finn. He would be sent to sit beside the new girl. "I stopped to talk with Huckleberry Finn," Tom proudly announced to the class. Mr. Dobbins stared in surprise. "Thomas Sawyer, this is a most astounding confession," Mr. Dobbins said, and sent Tom over to the girl's side of the room. Tom sat at the end of the pine bench next to the new girl. Winks and whispers flew around the classroom, but Tom didn't care. He pretended to read a book. Soon everyone went back to their schoolwork. Tom looked casually at the new girl. She saw his gaze and made a face. She turned away from Tom. When she turned back, there was a peach on her desk. Tom wrote on his slate, "Please take it. I got more." Then Tom began to draw. With his left hand, he hid what he was drawing. The girl tried to ignore him, but she couldn't help wondering what was on the slate. "Let me see it," she whispered. Tom had drawn a house with smoke coming out of the chimney. A stick man stood in front of the house. Tom's drawing wasn't that good, but the girl was impressed. "I wish I could draw," she said. "It's easy," whispered Tom. "Stay for lunch and I'll teach you." "What's your name?" "Becky Thatcher. What's yours?" Oh, I know. It's Thomas Sawyer." "They only call me that when I'm bad. I'm Tom when I'm good." "You call me Tom, will you?" Then Tom began to scrawl some words on the slate. He hid them from Becky. She begged to see what he had written. "Promise you won't tell?" I promise, cross my heart. Tom let his hand slip a little. The message came into view. The words, I love you, were carefully printed on the slate. Oh, you bad thing, said Becky. She slapped Tom on the hand. Her face blushed pink, but she looked a little pleased, Tom thought. At noon, Tom and Becky slipped away from the other children. They met in the lane behind the schoolhouse. Then Tom asked Becky a question. Was you ever engaged, Becky? What's that? Why, engaged to be married. No, replied Becky. Would you like to be? Asked Tom. I guess so. I don't know. What is it like? You don't like anyone but me. Then we kiss, and that's that. You walk with me coming to school and going home. I choose you at parties, and you choose me. Becky thought being engaged sounded nice. She whispered, I love you, in Tom's ear. Then they kissed. I never heard of being engaged before, said Becky. Oh, it's ever so jolly, replied Tom. Why, me and Amy Lawrence... Oh, Tom, you've been engaged before? Becky started to cry. Tom tried to comfort her. I don't care for anybody but you. But Becky wouldn't listen. She was hurt and angry. Tom didn't know what to do, so he left.